man has died after he was bitten by a snake.
It's a frickin' crate.
Don't die on me, man!
The horrifying last minutes of herpetologist Joseph Slowinski, a passion that led to tragedy. Some stories of scientific exploration are filled with awe and wonder. Others are terrifying reminders of the risks taken in pursuit of knowledge. Joseph Slowinski, a brilliant herpetologist, dedicated his life to understanding some of the most dangerous reptiles on Earth. But in 2001, during a field expedition in Myanmar, that passion turned fatal. What started as a routine collection mission ended in a nightmarish battle between man and nature. This isn't just a tale of a man and a snake. It's a haunting account of what can go wrong when curiosity crosses paths with one of the deadliest animals on the planet. Welcome to Nature's Last Call, the channel where the planet's wildest mysteries meet hard science and urgent truth. In today's episode, we shift from the depths of the ocean to the dense jungles of Myanmar, where one of the world's most respected herpetologists, Dr. Joseph Slowinski, met an unimaginable fate, a venomous bite, days away from help, and a heartbreaking end that could have been prevented. But before we dive in, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on our upcoming videos. Now let's get started. A bite in the jungle that shouldn't have happened. It was September 11, 2001. While the world reeled from tragic events in New York, halfway around the globe, Joseph Slowinski was facing a life-or-death emergency deep within the Burmese jungle. His team, cut off from modern communication and stranded in one of the most isolated regions of Myanmar, watched helplessly as their team leader began to fade. The cause? A single bite from a banded krait, a venomous snake so elusive that even many seasoned herpetologists rarely encounter it in the wild. But Slowinski did, and that one bite triggered a horrifying 30-hour ordeal. Who was Joseph Slowinski? Born in 1962, Joseph Bruno Slowinski had always been fascinated by reptiles. He earned his PhD in biology and went on to become curator of herpetology at the California Academy of Sciences in San Francisco. His work focused on venomous snakes, particularly those from Southeast Asia. He was more than just a scientist. He was a natural-born educator, a field biologist, and a risk-taker who believed that understanding venomous snakes could save lives. But even the best training can't always prepare you for what happens when the wild bites back. The Myanmar expedition into the unknown. Slowinski's expedition into Myanmar was meant to be a milestone in his career. The goal? To discover and catalog reptilian species in a remote region where no herpetologist had set foot in decades. The team, made up of American and Burmese scientists, was camped out in the forest under harsh conditions, with limited access to supplies, medical resources, or communication. The region was so remote that just reaching the site had taken days. It was a place where nature reigned supreme, and where even a minor injury could turn deadly. They were days into their mission when tragedy struck. The bite. Mistaken identity. On the night of September 11, a team member handed Slowinski a snake they had found. It was black with yellow bands, what they believed to be a harmless wolf snake. But Slowinski immediately recognized the danger. It wasn't a wolf snake. It was a banded krait, one of the most venomous snakes in Asia. But it was too late. As he took the snake in hand, it struck. The venom entered his system quickly. Within moments, the symptoms began to show: ptosis, drooping eyelids, muscle paralysis, and difficulty breathing. But banded krait venom doesn't cause immediate pain. It's a slow, silent killer. Slowinski knew exactly what was happening to him. And perhaps that was the most terrifying part. He was fully conscious of his deteriorating condition, trapped with no escape. What followed was a 30-hour descent into helplessness. The team tried to send an SOS message via email using a satellite link, but complications and technical issues caused delays. There was no phone service, no road access, and no way to evacuate him. They were literally in the middle of nowhere. Joseph's body began to fail him. The venom was attacking his nervous system, slowly shutting down his muscles. First, his speech slurred. Then, he couldn't move. Eventually, he couldn't breathe on his own. His colleagues performed mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to keep him alive. Imagine knowing that you are dying and there's absolutely nothing you or anyone else can do about it. The battle to save him. The team scrambled to reach anyone who could help. A Burmese army helicopter was requested, but there were miscommunications and delays. The team also attempted to create an anti-venom delivery plan, but it was complicated by political tensions and lack of infrastructure in the region. The clock was ticking, and Slowinski knew it. In what must be the most chilling part of this tragedy, Joseph Slowinski kept a log of his symptoms. His colleagues described him as calm, composed, even hopeful in the early hours. He believed that his team would save him, but the anti-venom never arrived. The helicopter came too late. On September 12, just over a day after the bite, Joseph Slowinski stopped breathing. Efforts to revive him failed. He was pronounced dead, his body still deep in the jungle that had both fascinated and betrayed him. The silent death of a scientist. What makes this story especially tragic is not just the death, but the awareness. Joseph wasn't knocked unconscious. He didn't slip away in his sleep. He died slowly and consciously, watching his body shut down one system at a time, fully aware every step of the way, trapped in a body that was losing its ability to function. As a venom specialist, he knew exactly how the neurotoxins worked, how they would block signals from his brain to his muscles, how each breath would get harder until he could no longer take one. He recognized the earliest symptoms instantly: the subtle muscle weakness, the drooping eyelids, the slow paralysis creeping through his limbs. He knew the timeline. He knew the outcome. And he knew there was no antivenom for hundreds of miles. His mind remained terrifyingly clear while his body betrayed him. A brilliant brain locked in a failing shell, still capable of thinking, analyzing, and fearing, even as his diaphragm began to freeze and breathing became a conscious, desperate effort. There was no chaos, no flailing, just a slow, silent unraveling, a clinical awareness of dying, in perhaps the most unforgiving way a scientist could experience. It's the kind of death that haunts even the most hardened scientists, the kind that makes them rethink the price of fieldwork and wonder how far is too far in the name of discovery. Legacy and lessons. Joseph Slowinski's death sparked conversations across the scientific community. It revealed the glaring gaps in emergency planning for field researchers. It also highlighted the need for better communication tools in remote locations and easier access to antivenom in isolated areas. His colleagues and students mourned the loss of a man who wasn't just an expert, but a mentor and visionary. Today, several scholarships and lectures bear his name, keeping his spirit of curiosity alive. And perhaps most powerfully, his death taught future field biologists a chilling, unforgettable lesson about preparation, risk, and the price of discovery. Why the banded krait is so dangerous. The banded krait is one of Asia's most dangerous snakes. Its venom contains neurotoxins that slowly paralyze its victims. And while bites are rare, kraits are usually shy. When they do bite, they often don't cause pain. That's why victims may not realize how serious their condition is until it's too late. Slowinski was one of the few people to be bitten by a banded krait in the wild. Tragically, he's also one of the few to die from it in modern times, largely due to the remote location and lack of medical care. Could he have been saved? Many experts believe that if the bite had occurred in a hospital setting, or even near a major city, Joseph Slowinski might have survived. Antivenom for banded kraits exists, and artificial ventilation can keep a victim alive long enough for the body to process the venom. But in the jungle, with no electricity, no ventilators, and no antivenom, survival was nearly impossible. His death wasn't caused by lack of knowledge. It was caused by isolation. remembering the man behind the tragedy. While his death is often told as a cautionary tale, Joseph Slowinski should also be remembered for his incredible work in herpetology. He described over 20 new species of snakes and was deeply committed to conservation and education. His loss was a heavy one for the scientific world, but his legacy continues in every young herpetologist who ventures into the wild, better prepared because of the lessons he left behind. If this story amazed you, it's time to think bigger. The jungles and oceans are talking through the clicks, movements, and choices of their most brilliant residents. Like, share, and comment to help raise awareness about wildlife safety, field research, and nature conservation. And don't forget to subscribe to Natural World Files for more deep dives into the mysteries of our planet, from the beautiful to the terrifying. Stay curious, stay safe.